Welcome to the Katie Wellness Show, where you get the tools, knowledge, and inspiration you need to transform your health and wellness, body, mind, and spirit. You'll learn holistic and practical wellness strategies that empower you to reclaim your health and fully step into your power. You belong here as you learn to tap into your intuition to support your body every step of the way. Let go of what's no longer serving you and teach these tools and strategies to your family to raise emotionally and physically resilient children. Welcome back, friend. This is the Katie Wellness Show, and I am your host, Lindsay Katie. When people learn that I have a business, or when they're around me long enough and they see kind of the lifestyle that I live, often they want to know more. What is it that you do to help people, or why do you live this way? And I found it hard to explain in a 1 or 2 sentence version the amazing technology of epigenetic hair scans. Kind of a mouthful. Epigenetic, it's the study of how our environment and our genetics, or our DNA, work together to create health and wellness, or disease and ill health. I typically explain that I help women optimize their health using epigenetic testing and emotional processing. But there is so much more to a hair scan than that. A hair scan tests over 800 factors related to your physical, emotional, and environmental health. And I want to talk today about how that works. Typically, during a consultation, the client comes in, I start by collecting a sample. I collect the sample, which is 4 strands of hair with the root included. The root and the hair contain genetic information, and also influence information. We place the hair on the scanner, and as it was explained to me by the creator of the scanner, in a webinar that I joined, the intelligent agent, or the scanner, we live in this digital world of AI everything, right? So it's not too far-fetched or too far out there that this scanner, or this intelligent agent, asks the other intelligent being, your body. Basically, the scanner is asking your body, what do you need? The wave technology of the scanner collects the data and sends it encrypted, so none of your information is attached to it. It's sent via a secure line to an epigenetic mapping company in Hamburg, Germany. Usually it takes about 15 minutes to get results back. During that 15 minutes, we discuss challenges that you're currently facing. What does your diet currently look like? What does your movement currently look like? What does your stress currently look like? We look at a variety of factors that could be influencing health to get a clear, or a more clear picture of the current state of health, from the client's perspective. Within 15 minutes, you get a 30-page personalized report telling you exactly what your body needs and what it's struggling with at a cellular level. What does this test for? So, like I said, it tests over 800 factors, but what exactly is it testing for? It tests for vitamin, mineral, fatty acid, protein, so amino acid, and antioxidant deficiencies. So it looks at, okay, of all the nutrients that your body is getting, what are you low in? What do you need a boost in? It also tests for toxic metals stuck in the body, or toxic exposure to toxic metals. One example could be aluminum from traditional deodorant. That aluminum can be stuck in your body if your body is having a hard time detoxing it or getting rid of it. If your liver is having a hard time filtering it, it can tell us if your body is exposed to toxic metals. If your body is having a hard time detoxing chemical exposure, and it checks for radiation exposure. It also checks for things that are going to compromise your immune system, like parasites, mold, fungus, like candida, or a yeast. Like if you have yeast infections often, or SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth. There's a couple things, so it can kind of give us clues into if the body is struggling with candida, bacteria, viruses. So those are kind of the environmental factors, like the outside that you're intaking, or that the environment that you're being exposed to, it checks for those. It also checks systems within the body for proper function. So it might ask, is the body metabolizing sugar properly? And give us a yes or no. Is the cardiovascular system optimized? Is blood flowing properly and delivering oxygen and nutrients to where it's needed? It checks for hormones and your adrenal system. Is your body detoxing properly? Muscle recovery and function, digestion, brain health, mitochondrial function, hydration, cellular hydration, emotional balancing or processing or stress levels. How is stress affecting your emotional well-being? Inflammation, your immune system, and more. There are more categories that it checks for. It really, truly is so accurate and amazing that we have the technology to ask the body what it needs at a cellular level. And sometimes we feel intuitively, hey, I know that I need to go on walks after meals, but I just haven't been able to make myself do it. Well, if your scan comes back with sugar metabolism issues, there's your push. That's that intuitive side coming in. Taking walks after meals helps your blood sugar regulation. It helps to convert that sugar into energy and be using the energy instead of storing it as fat throughout your body. So the 30-page report tells you what nutrients need boosted and the foods that provide those nutrients. One of the pages that I always either print for my clients or encourage them to print if we're meeting virtually is one of the last pages that list all the nutrients that are needed in order from most important to least important, and the foods that those nutrients can be found in. So we are focusing on getting our nutrients through food first. Food is medicine, and it can do great wonders when we rely on food to help bring balance to our bodies, to optimize our health. So I always encourage clients to either print that, and I usually will give them a little assignment, especially with kids, right? We want to get kids involved in knowing what foods affect their health in a positive way or in a negative way. So I'll have them highlight the foods that they know that they like and work to incorporate more of those foods. It also, so the report lists foods that are preventing healing or optimal health for you personally. It's not like an allergy test. It's not even necessarily a food sensitivity test, but it lists foods that are difficult for your body to digest and absorb right now. So again, back to the sugar metabolism. If there are a lot of fruits listed in that avoid list, it could just be because your body's having a hard time metabolizing sugar. And or it could be you're eating the same foods over and over and over again, and your body is like, hey, guess what? I really just need a break from these foods right now. I always coach my clients on habits that help improve whatever is coming up for them. So, my approach to health and wellness is nutrition first, right? We want to get as many nutrients from our food as possible. We want to support our bodies with habits that help, and then we'll look at supplements. So, I am not, I don't encourage supplements as a quick fix, as a fix all, right? There are other things that we can do that are free or low cost, or just even being mindful of certain things that can help us increase our digestion. So the food that we are eating, we are getting more nutrients from. So some of the examples of the coaching that I do, if digestion is coming up on the scan or on the report, I will coach my clients through chewing their food really well, limiting liquids with meals, sitting down to eat, and then starting meals from a place of gratitude. If sleep is coming up, I'll coach them on dimming lights, how to prepare the body for sleep. It includes things like dimming lights as the sun sets, watching the sunrise and the sunset, helping that circadian rhythm to set. If you want more ideas on how to improve sleep, check out podcast episode, I believe it was 6, but I'll link it below in the show notes. If you want to listen to that, if you know that you are not getting very good sleep, or if your sleep is interrupted a lot from kiddos, how can you get better sleep even if your sleep is broken up, or if you're not getting great sleep right now, or if your sleep is kind of controlled a little bit by kids waking often in the night, check out that episode. If sugar metabolism is coming up, we talk about eating in the proper order. We talk about walking after meals, and I explain what the proper order of eating is to help optimize how the sugar is taken into your body to avoid those sugar spikes and the drops and the cravings and that whole cycle. When emotions comes up on a scan, I always encourage emotional processing session to release emotions. But if that's not in the cards for them, there are lots of free options like tapping or emotional freedom technique, yoga, moving through emotions by doing whatever feels good to release them. That could be screaming in a pillow or mad walking or talking out loud to self about all the things that are frustrating, or journaling, right? We stuff our emotions down so easily that even just being more mindful of when I have an emotion, I am allowed to feel that emotion and finding constructive ways to move through that emotion instead of leaving it stuck or stuffing it down in the body, because that will manifest as dis-ease later on. A digestion test is something I always have my clients do before their hair scan appointment. It's a test that you can do at home on an empty stomach, and you just mix a half a cup filtered water with 1/4 teaspoon baking soda. You drink it quickly, first thing in the morning before anything else hits your stomach, not food or liquid or medications, and then you start a timer. If you burp, or if my clients don't burp within the first 2 minutes, then during our consultation, we talk about ways to boost absorption and increase that hydrochloric acid. Ideally, you should have a large belch or burp within 2 minutes, because the hydrochloric acid and the baking soda should cause a reaction. The hair scan report can also help us optimize supplementation. So instead of just taking 15 supplements willy-nilly because you saw somebody talk about the benefits of it and how great it is, we can look at the chart and know, okay, these nutrients are low. Taking this supplement can help boost these 3 things. A lot of the times, the supplements that I recommend for a lot of people is a hydrochloric acid supplement, a probiotic, a pre or probiotic, and an organ complex. Those are 3 of my most often recommended supplements, and I can link a lot of those in the show notes below. We talk about, with my clients, I talk about just being aware of your environment's effect on your health. What are tiny little swaps that you can make that improve your wellness over time? So where I'm at right now, where a lot of people see me at using clean products and using ozone and using different or weird, quote unquote, weird therapies, that would not have been me 10 years ago. That wasn't me 10 years ago. It has been over time that I've made small shifts in my habits and in the foods that I purchase and in the products that I use that have helped me to feel better, that have helped me to sustain my wellness, that have kept me and my family healthy, especially during sick seasons. Having the tools and the resources that I have now is what I share on my Instagram account or through this podcast, because those are things that have helped me, that they have proven themselves over time to be worth having for me. But it's taken several scans for me to hone in on, okay, I need to be taking these nutrients. These are ones that my body just needs regularly. These are habits that I need to be working on. These are emotions that I need to be releasing and reprogramming in my brain so I can let that old processing, just let it die, let it go, and form new processing. So I'm not stuck in anger and resentment and people pleasing and perfectionism. So that is hair scans in a nutshell. They have been so helpful and influential in my healing journey, especially as most recently, our home had mold and we ended up having to tear out drywall, tear out kitchen cupboards, tear out flooring. And I was able to learn through hair scans that the mold spores were sticking to 3 of my 5 family members. And working on being more mindful about detoxing those mold spores from our bodies, just supporting through probiotics, through detoxing therapies, of course, age appropriate for kids, right? I'm not gonna do things that are harmful to their bodies or just not necessary, right? Because younger kids, their bodies are still working pretty well. Um, but yeah, I was able to look at their hair scans and know who is most affected by this mold exposure in our home and get the tools that I needed to help my family members and myself feel better. Especially for me, I was having a lot of pretty severe anxiety during the mold exposure situation, but I didn't recognize it until after the mold got out of the house and after I actively started detoxing. So hopefully that answers some pretty important questions about what a hair scan is and what is it that I do as my business, as a business owner. This epigenetic technology is truly amazing. Listening to the creators of it talk about it, it is quantum physics. It is molecular biology. It is really some fascinating science behind a lot of it. But basically, how it helps you is it gives you the knowledge and information you need to support your body at a cellular level. Compared to blood testing, right? Hair scans look at what has been influencing you for the last 90 days. And it tests over 800 factors. When you do a blood test, blood is it likes homeostasis. It likes to be consistent. So it will pull nutrients and it will pull whatever it needs from other systems, from other organs to kind of stay in that homeostasis. So unless something is blaringly wrong, a blood test can only show so much. When you add that in connection with the hair scan or use the hair scan as a replacement for a blood test, you have so much more information. Like I said, over 800 factors are tested, and you get 30 pages of personalized information to you. It really is truly amazing technology. If you are wanting more information about a hair scan, what it is, what it does, if you have specific questions, if you want to know if it's something that would be helpful for you, book a discovery call in the show notes. Let's talk about it. Reach out to me on Instagram or you can send me an email. I would love to connect with you. and see if hair scans are the right tool for you in this time. Thank you for joining me on today's episode. I hope that this was beneficial and helpful for you to see what a hair scan can do for you in helping you to optimize your health or to help you get to the root of why you're feeling fatigue, brain fog, bloating, headaches, chronic inflammation, insomnia. Why is it that your body can't lose weight? It can address all of those. So reach out today, and I look forward to talking to you next week.